Hi climbers, and welcome back to the treehouse. My name's Ree and this is the tarot tree, and today I just thought we'd make a little video looking at some little gems in my collection, namely my mini decks. I saw Shauna from Six of Wands, a great channel, check her out, do this recently, and I thought, oh, let me jump on that. Like, I think it might have gone around before this tag, but I've not got involved and I haven't seen like everyone's little mini collection, so it'd be cool. So if you're interested, definitely get involved. I thought it would be a nice video to come back and do. I've been a little unwell lately and I was kind of waiting to make videos until like my nasally voice had kind of gone. I think we're pretty much 90% there now, so you won't have to endure that. But yeah, I thought it's a nice little showcase to do. They're cute, aren't they? It's always nice to see some kind of gems in others' collections. I enjoy these kind of videos, but I also think it'd be nice to just have a little talk about why smaller decks sometimes might be the better option for us, outside of their sort of cuteness appeal, how they can actually be quite handy within our collections. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump in. So first up, we've got my trusty little mini Centennial. Now, I'm going to be 100% transparent with you guys. I do not feel like this is, what's the word? A legitimate deck. I bought this deck when, I wasn't really I was very new to the tarot world. This is like one of the first decks I actually bought, and I was looking for a Rider-Waite, but I wanted one that was smaller because, I have tiny baby hands, and I just happened to find it, and on eBay, whatnot. So yeah, I think this actually might be a knockoff, although the quality is quite good. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that, guys? It's not something I've done. Well, I have one other deck that I feel comes into that category too that we'll speak about, that was slightly a bit more problematic for me. But I guess for me, obviously I was new. I understand why, especially younger people, they might not have much money available to them, might take these options, oh wow, it's cheaper, let me get it, maybe not fully understanding the fact that they're sort of counterfeit per se. I guess I don't really have as big an issue if it is like a kind of, what's the word, your kind of typical Rider-Waite, as I'm sure, I don't know what happens in terms of the copyright with this imagery now. It's not as bad as when you have an independent artist being robbed, I guess. That's how I feel about it. But yeah, it's not ideal for me, but at the time I don't think this Centennial had been printed in a mini version. It comes in the tin one. There is one that does that now, so yeah, I'll encourage you guys to get that. But yeah, it's just great to have one this size. It was when I was trying to learn how to riffle shuffle. I still can't do it to save my life, but it definitely helps that it's a smaller deck. It was nice just to have that learning deck there as a reference in terms of the Rider-Waite. I like the colouring of this far better than the original. I think a lot of people do, to be quite honest with you. So yeah, that's why it's just so good to have it in my collection, and to have it like as this little mini deck. I don't mind getting it beat up, taking it around with me. It's good for that sort of transportability. And yeah, like I say, I've got no complaints. I guess you guys all know these images very well as it is. But yeah, I do like having it in this smaller size. I think it's very, very handy. So that's my first little mini gem there, my Centennial Rider-Waite. So next up, let's get these knockoffs out the way. I'm going to be really transparent. This is the one I have a little bit more trouble with because of it being that way. And this is the Wild Unknown by Kim Cran's tarot deck. Now, I saw this on a tarot reader's channel, like when I first started my journey with tarot a few years back. And I was just like, wow, that's really different. I'm sure a lot of us had that same sort of kind of reaction to it. And let's just have a look through. And I thought, that's really different. I'll be quite honest with you, this isn't my favourite deck. I really hardly use it. because I do find it a bit tricky to read. And, you know, this is my punishment for accidentally. This was kind of accidental. Again, like I said, I didn't really know the difference at the time. I just thought, oh wow, it's cheaper on eBay. It's only when it came, you know, you get that giveaway like, oh, there's no guidebook. This is a bit tricky. And I think this is where, you know, I got tripped up with getting a deck that wasn't, you know, authentic per se. Was I didn't get the guidebook with it, which I think would have been helpful with this deck. I love the colours in it though, and the line work is just, it is so unique, but it does take some study for me personally if I was going to use this deck. Again, I love the small size. Again, I will promote you actually buying this legitimately now, as it has been released in a little tin quite recently, so definitely do that, guys. I think it can be a very good way to kind of try out decks that you're not 100% sure on. Actually, this is one kind of positive I see with our mini decks, you know, that are getting released, and I'm noticing a lot more creators are doing it now, I guess for that sort of transportability, especially when they make them in the little tins. But I love that Empress card for some reason. It's the trees. I think that's what really drew me to this deck as well, that nature, the sort of lots of trees, twigs, you know, animals. That was quite a draw for me. And the colour palette was very different as well. Like some cards you see, you get a lot of black and white, but with a tinge of colour, and then the happier cards, you get a lot more colour, which I think that was really interesting, quite new about this deck at the time, almost bringing that sort of colour psychology and symbolism into a deck, which is essentially a pip deck, which I don't really get on with pip decks too much, because I'm a very visual person and I do like to have sort of mine as illustrated to help me with the meanings. But like I said, I was shot in the foot by this. I learned my lesson. I didn't get the guidebook with it. So yeah, be aware of that, guys, when you're buying things. If you see a deck and the price looks too good to be true, more than likely it is. And also if you see like things like, not all the time, but often, you know, you scan a kind of a code, and that's how you a QR code, and that's how you get the guidebook. That's usually an indication that it is a counterfeit deck. So yeah, just a little tip there. But yeah, in terms of, I'm losing my train of thought all over the place here. I feel like mini decks are a good way to dip your toe in a deck you're not sure about. That's actually, I think it's more cost effective. Like, you're not committing too much money to a deck that you're not sure about, and that's why I'm really glad that more outside of it being some sort of novelty, which I don't think is true. Like, there's many good reasons for releasing mini decks, in my opinion, that, you know, we're speaking about currently, and hopefully I'll put some more little gems out there for you guys. But yeah, I feel like it's a good way to kind of try a deck and not feel too bad if it's not for you, right? Oh, I love the Mother of Cups, that's so beautiful. So yeah, that's my Wild Unknown Tarot by Kim Krans. Having said that, yeah, even though it is a counterfeit, I think it's very good, very good quality, which is surprising. But like I said, it is more problematic when it comes from an independent artist. You know, at the time it was already a mass market deck when I got this copy, so that was a little less of a, you know, stab to the artist. But nevertheless, you know, as any artist would, it's not nice to have your work stolen and people profit off of it, is it? You know, as someone who once had a poetry blog and had that done, had someone try to pass off their work, my work, as their own, it's horrible. It's such a horrible feeling. So I'm in by no way, shape or form promoting this. Some of you may feel I should get rid of these because they're because they are counterfeit, but I just don't see that as kind of necessary at this point in time. But yeah, that is my Wild Unknown. Now, on to another little gem here. We have the Baby Orion's Tarot deck. Oh, this one is so cute, by Ambi-sun. I don't know, you have to see that it's a proper little baby magnetic box. Look at this, it's so cute, guys. It says, look, this deck is made in gratitude and dedicated to my stars that guide me in the dark. And it's such good quality. Look at this little deck. Okay, now this is an indie print of this. Let's put you to one side. Oh god, it's gilded everything. This is the most bougie, luxurious mini deck of my collections. Hopefully you can see this, because this is known for being quite a dark deck in terms of colour palette. I actually think I might potentially zoom in for this one, guys. What would you think? Yeah, I think that would be the right thing to do. Okay, so back to the Orion's Tarot deck. This is a beautiful little animal deck that when I first saw it, it was still in its indie run, and all the like larger copies had sold out at the time, but Little Red Tarot, which for any other UK kind of tarot lovers, here's a great website for getting independent decks in the UK without them being ridiculously priced. The Boutique is another one. I'll definitely be speaking on that shop too. Both great shops for us, so if you're in the UK, check them out. I'll try to leave links in the description. They had this left, and I was to and froing because I did like this deck. I think it was very different. I didn't have too many animal decks. Actually, I don't think I had any animal outside of the Wild Unknown tarot decks, at least at the time, and I just found it really interesting, you know. And I thought, oh, it's a little, you know, that's another thing where it comes in, you know, if you can't maybe afford like the bigger kind of option of an independent deck, if the creator is releasing these smaller versions, which I'm noticing a lot more doing now, like we see the Gentle Tarot come out in a mini and like in a linen finish. Like, I think it's really good that the artists are making them more accessible for people, and I really appreciate that. So yeah, that's another good point for mini decks, especially in the independent market. You know, you end up not spending too much, which was actually good, because I wasn't 100% sure, oh, is this a deck that I really need? But then when I saw it, like they had the little Diddy version left, and you know, I just thought, you know what, let me give it a go. Look at the sun card, the capybara, and it comes, I actually ordered the separate little guidebook with this, because obviously the smaller decks don't usually come with a little white book, so it's beautiful, and I really think it's actually one of the better guidebooks I've ever had for a deck. So it was well worth it for that. I really am glad that I took the plunge and got this in its last run before it became mass market. And obviously mass market now, you can only get the bigger version, I'm fairly sure. But this is just so cute, and it comes in such, like I said, a sturdy box. Like, it's so good to take out and stuff, even though it is an indie deck. Like, I feel like, oh, it's quite well protected. It's a nice little one to bring out if you want to do like journaling outside or something. And you know, even to take the little hardback book out isn't a big thing, you know. You can pop it in my bag. And yeah, it's just such a beautiful quality deck. The cardstock, the gilding, you know, the energy from it. I just think it makes it even more cute, because it's a cute animal deck in a lot of ways, although, you know, it does have its shadow, this deck, which I like about it for sure, that sort of cosmic dark kind of energy. But the animals, when they are so cute, and they're even cuter in mini form. What do you guys think? Do you agree? I think it's just something really cute about a mini animal deck in particular. So yeah, guys, if you can, you know, get yourself some mini decks from independent sellers, I definitely think that's a good shout as well. Why they're so useful for us to have in our collections, and so useful to have in the market, to be fair. So yeah, that is the Orion's Tarot deck, the little baby one there. Look at that dolphin energy, so beautiful. And I'm not sure you can find this anywhere. I'm fairly sure it's out of print, unless the creator has a few left on her own kind of independent shops. Always worth a shout, even dropping them a line, dropping them an email. I've definitely been able to source decks that way myself before, so, you know, don't feel too disheartened. Like, obviously don't harass people and creators, but, you know, there's always, you know, there's no harm in asking, is there? You never know, like, they might have some seconds left, they might have some they're willing to still sell. At the end of the day, it's a business for them. So yeah, that's the Orion's Tarot deck. Okay, so next up, where do I want to go? Let's go to a newer acquisition. Let's see, how zoomed in are we? let's just keep it like this because these baby cards need as much kind of zooming in as possible. And this is the introspection cards, featuring the angels and demons of the psyche. Now this is a really interesting little deck I randomly stumbled across while looking for kind of pre-owned decks. That's a video I got coming up actually, looking at buying decks secondhand, so watch out for that because this deck will pop up there too. So basically this is a little deck that's split into kind of two. So you got the angel side and the demon side, and it's so cute because if you can see the little kind of pamphlet that comes with it, that kind of gives you some sort of hints on how to use the deck, etc. It is like that age-old, you know, I've got the little angel on one shoulder and the little demon or devil on the other, and I like that imagery, you know, that's really cool. So you have these cards, right, that are split into angels and demons, and they each like have, you know, kind of a prompt, like a word. So this understanding, these are the lighter cards, the angel cards. And then I think the cards that drew me in the most with this are the more darker side, because I've literally ended up, I think this might all be the wrong way around, picked this up to help me as a kind of tool with shadow work and sort of identifying the feelings or exploring my emotions and feelings behind some of these key words. You know, I've used it in a few different ways, and I'll maybe do another video about that later on. So we have failure. I found it's sort of this collage / the little images drawn, and I find particularly this sort of demon on, you know, shadow cards quite hard hitting in this little deck. It's again a good one to take around. Folly, I just find it so unique. I actually really love the backs as well. The cardstock's quite thin, but it's not bad, and it just seems like it's a little independent designer that was selling them. And I love the color palette, you know, the purples, the reds, you know, the just really sweet little images, especially on the angel cards, and then like I said, them hard hitting ones on the demon cards with that sort of collage effect. Regret, like it's a very emotive like little deck, like a small deck that, you know, doesn't pull punches in any way, shape or form. And I really like that, and I like the size. This is again why I feel is another positive from having mini decks in our collection. They really help sometimes to not allow a spread. If you're doing a spread for yourself and you have different decks, different elements, from getting too overwhelming, because when we have different size cards, I find, for me anyway, I prefer it. Like I like having an oracle card, like maybe I pull one and it's a big card. Then I have my standard tarot card kind of size. And then, you know, I'll have my little mini cards that can act as sort of clarifiers, or just giving me another layer. And this is the layer within this deck I use for like, let me identify the emotion behind this, kind of what's fueling this, like maybe what's the shadow aspect that I need to kind of pay attention to within these questions that I'm asking, or what's going to help this, you know, when there's more lighter cards come up, you know, what is it leading to for me, you know, as an encouragement to push me on. So yeah, I just really like that. I think that's another really handy thing, you know, when we look at the actual sizings of decks in terms of practicality and how they can kind of be worked physically within a spread. That's why it's so handy to have decks of different sizes, I think. Let me know what you think about that. I honestly feel it has its merit, genuinely. I've realised I haven't really bought an average kind of tarot card to kind of show you the comparison of how big or small these cards are. Is that necessary, guys? Maybe it isn't. But yeah, as you can see, it's really cool when you pull two cards from this. This is one spread like it tells you to do. Here we go. Within the kind of little pamphlet, like split the deck in two and pull one from a sort of demon's kind of side or devil side, and one from the angel side, and see like what that brings up in you. Like here we have ignorance and harmony. Like what sort of questions does that bring up for you? I think that's really, really interesting. Like, here, are you ignoring things purposely for harmony? You know, is that a people-pleasing aspect? Is that what you believe it will bring about? You know, you don't want to rock the boat, so you turn a blind eye. Do you know, it's very cool, the connections that this deck makes you draw upon. And it's very good for shadow work, I believe, because of that, kind of acknowledging that the shadow has its counterpart there, you know, and it has its purpose, and it's not something to just be feel shame about. So yeah, I think going a little too much about this deck, and I should probably save that for my shadow work videos I have coming up. But yeah, that gives you a little showcase of a deck that you've never seen before, because I've never saw this before. And you know, adding a new mini deck to your collection is up your street. That is the Introspection deck, featuring the angels and demons of your psyche. It's created by Liz Sandington. Fairly sure it's a UK creator. She was selling them herself on eBay, and a few people had them on a pre-owned, so definitely check it out. It was a really cheap deck. I think it was only like £6 or something, like basically under $10, like, so give it a go, guys. So yeah, so next up we have another kind of miscellaneous little find I kind of came across while I was looking for like pre-owned secondhand decks. This is on Depop. I love the little bag, the canvas bag with the moon. I don't even know what this deck is called. Let me double check in case. I believe it's out of print. I think it is independently created. I'm calling it a mini deck because I still feel it's quite mini, but it's like in terms for oracle. What is this called? Moonbeam Goddess Goddess Moon deck. I have no idea. I'm literally making that up. But let me get a deck for comparison actually in sizes. Let's see if this really counts as a mini deck or if I'm cheating. So this is like the Kuan Yin Oracle. As you can see, it's quite a standard Oracle card deck size. So yeah, you know, it is quite a bit more mini than that. Aren't the backs beautiful? So spring-like. I love it. Oh guys, can you tell I'm excited for spring? I am a spring baby. I feel like I only come alive once spring starts coming, you know. When spring arrives, re-arrives. Oh gosh, I just need the sun, you know. I don't care if it's cold, please just give me some sun and give me some flowers and growth. That's what I want. So back to the mini deck. Okay, so this is basically a goddess kind of deck with, you know, some nods to the zodiac, and also I think to be used through the moon phases. So how I actually use this deck, Morrigan there, is as, oh yeah, beautiful, as a kind of, to kind of display that the goddess, to kind of energy to embody, drawing the, you know, different moons, like when the moon enters different signs. And I just found this on a whim, just randomly on Depop, looking through secondhand decks. Never saw it anywhere before, can't really find it anywhere to be sold now. So sorry, Guy Bridget as Leo, Gaia as Taurus. I just thought it was just so sweet. And I like that. I like that energy. Like, I like that it's a small deck as well, because when I have like a display on my altar, for example, obviously having lots of oracle decks and oracle cards out can get a bit much as well, because they seem to be quite, you know, they're a lot bigger. So I like that this makes it kind of nice, have that kind of little energy of the goddess for the month, for, you know, for that moon phase there, you know, and her own kind of part of the altar with, you know, maybe the other cards like surrounding her for like that I'm pulling for, you know, the different weeks. So I like that. She's not too imposing. She's just doing her thing to remind me of that kind of energy. And it's only a small little deck, Kuan Yin. Ah, there she is again, one of my favourites. It's just really nice to have. I just think it's really sweet. I love the art. Like I said, I love the backs. It comes with a little guide you can kind of look up with like little tips. on, you know, the kind of energy to embody a little bit about the goddess, etc. But obviously just invites you to do your own research, which I like it didn't come with any book. So it's been really good, because I've been looking into like, you know, one of my kind of 3 goals of this year in terms of the work I want to do for myself and with my decks, you know, is goddess and divine feminine work, you know, stepping into the divine feminine more, healing that aspect of myself. And I think goddess energy has, you know, been a good step into that direction, and that's where I've gone with like my decks recently in regards to that. And this was just a really nice addition, and the fact that it's just a cute, really cute deck as well, just, yeah, it just makes it that much better. We're going to end with her because she's definitely the goddess I'm working with. Mainly Orien is who I'll do a video about that going forward, because I have a really interesting connection to this goddess in particular, a really quite funny story as well from my young teen days. So yeah, that's the I don't even know what you're called. I don't know if you've a Moonbeam Goddess Oracle deck. If I can find it and find it for sale, I'll definitely link it for you guys, because I'm sure some of you will like it. But yeah, I just think that's another little mini deck that's good to have in the collection. Last but not least, by no means least, we have my little baby deck, the Flora Healing mini deck. I have shown this on this channel before, and this is a set of 3 decks by this creator. They're called Avec la Vie. I forgot her name. Rebecca Lefebvre. I can't pronounce her name. I think she might be a French-Canadian creator. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, I have the full size of the sort of cards that are linked to manifestation. And this is the card that's linked to healing. And they also have an animal deck, fauna deck I think it's called, that's linked to inspiration, which I'm definitely looking to get. Again, this is on the Wootique. You can find this if you are a UK kind of interested buyer. This should be quite easy for you you lovely folk in the US to get hold of, and Canada potentially, because I feel that's where she's based. She might potentially be based in North America. So yeah, definitely check her Etsy shop out. That's let's double check that again, Avec la Vie. So yeah, I just find these decks, look at how breathtaking they are. Now, I couldn't get the full size. I want to get the full size of this for sure, so I have the 3 decks in full size. But when I saw the small deck came up available, am I even speaking English? When I saw that the small deck had actually been made available in the boutique, I had to go for it, because this was the deck that really got me interested in this trio of decks in the first place. You know, there was a lot of people singing its praises, you know, for going through their own healing journeys. I'm someone that's on a healing journey, you know, at the moment myself, and definitely looking into plant life and stuff like that. Very interested in herbology and botanicals and all that kind of thing, you know. So this is just a beautiful deck. I love that it's watercolors. I just think having this mini one has just been so great to come around with me and just have like around in my room as well. I actually sit this in my meditation bowl, in my meditation area. This is where this deck kind of lives, so I can sit down there when I need a message. I can grab it. It's nice enough to display like as well. Like I pull a few of them and kind of put them in my kind of water space in a stand, and they look so beautiful because it's like I've created I don't know, I'm showing you the backs, but I've created my own little garden out of, you know, the wisdom that I need for that week or for that kind of query. As you can see, as I was kind of just glitching out there, they are double-sided. So on the back you actually have, you know, on the front you have the picture of the plant, the flower, and then on the back you have, you know, this passage, you know, with a kind of keyword. It tells you the kind of Latin name, the keyword, what, you know, your takeaway from this plant will be, a little passage, and then some prompts, you know. I'll just read this out for you. So, hydrangea, absorb. One of the most unique qualities of this flora is its show of colour based on the soil it resides. Depending on the pH, hydrangeas are either blue or pink. See, this is a learning deck as well. I didn't know that. There's no hiding its nutrients. What this flower absorbs, it discloses. For those of us who wear our hearts on our sleeves, absorbing and revealing is as customary as breathing. What elements in your life should you refrain from soaking up? How might your outlook improve and your disposition change? Do you see what I mean? It's such a good, it's so tiny, like a small little deck, small little passage, but it packs a punch. There's so much to draw on from that, and this is why this deck is particularly very good for journaling. And having it in this smaller kind of you know, can carry along with you format as a mini deck makes that so accessible, so good to take out with you, especially if you're journaling. And for me, like when I'm kind of, you know, what I want to be doing, I'll be honest with you, I'm a little bit of a recluse at the moment, but in terms of, you know, now spring's coming, you know, I'm not big with winter and autumn, but spring is here, you know, spring in my step, you know, getting out and making use of these decks actually in nature, surrounded by these flowers, you know, taking in that healing energy whilst doing the healing work. It's going to be really good, you know, I really look forward to it. And having it in this mini size just makes it so much easier to take around with me. Again, it was cheaper, so I don't worry too much about spoiling it too much, even though it is an indie deck. I mean, obviously I wouldn't want to like kind of ruin it. Oh, bear in mind that there is some sort of helicopter or plane going over right now. Sorry about that. Where was I? So rude. What was I saying? Yeah, so have that portability, you know, in this mini size to take it around and sit in nature, journal with it, you know, be around these sort of flora energies, you know, in person. It's just, I feel like it's going to be a really nice thing for me to do in spring. And yeah, if this is up your alley, guys, I definitely can't speak, you know, any more highly of it really. And the other two in the series, definitely if you like kind of animals, check out that one, because it's all these beautiful watercolors, and the paper's like almost like watercolor kind of paper. The bigger versions will be like rounded corners. I know some of you don't really like these hard edges, but I don't find it too problematic with this deck. And I think even like, you know, this is a cute little deck if you wanted to kind of use them in like your journals, make little pockets, you know, and have a little study of this kind of flower and the prompts, you know, and keep it tucked in there if you really wanted to, you know. It's quite versatile. You know, there's scope for creativity with these little mini decks, I think. So definitely give them a chance. Like, I feel like maybe some of us will pass them up and kind of think like, oh, no, it's just not for me, it's just a novelty. But they do have their purpose, they do have their place. So that's the Flora Healing deck, guys. I'll pop her away now. So that was all my mini decks, guys. Let me try and do the artsy thing now and put them all out. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what some of yours are like. Do you find them helpful to have these little baby decks in your collection? Do you think they serve a good purpose, or do you think they're just a novelty? Let me know and jump on this tag. Once again, thank you to Shauna for creating, well, I don't know about creating the tag, but definitely bringing it to our attention yet again. It's been a really fun tag to get involved in, to actually look at my little gems in my collection. God, that was horrendous, guys. You can see why we usually do this stuff off camera, right? I'm not happy with this in no way, shape or form. This one can't be in the middle. There we go, that's a bit better. That's a bit better. So yeah, I'll stop being OCD now. So yeah, guys, let me know what your favorite mini decks are, how you use them, if you find them useful. I'm really interested because they are so cute. They're just really nice to showcase, right? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you had, give it a thumbs up, you know, subscribe, all that good thing. It'd be really nice to have you in the treehouse. This community is growing and it's just been getting better by the day. So yeah, come and join us, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.